What's up everyone, this is Head85. Welcome to episode number 21 of my WCW Done Deal game. We're now into January 2003 and I can announce now this is the draft month. So I've done some specially designed angles that will carry on for a couple of shows just to make the draft a bit more interesting, to be honest. So on that note, hopefully you'll like all the changes that are happening, and yeah, I'm excited for it. So as you can see, I've tweaked the picture pack. So we're starting off with an 8-man tag in the pre-show, of course. Only for now. Hopefully these big tag matches will be a thing of the past when I've got 2 shows, 2 rosters. Anyway, Dustin Rhodes, Nathan Jones, Doring and Roadkill defeat Red, Yang and the Naturals. That's got a 70. Second pre-show, Mike Awesome and Ric Flair, Crush, Kazuyoshi and Shannon Moore. Again, this was just to entertain the crowd. Again, I've tweaked the pictures. Awesome's got his WWE look, and Flair's got a recent one. As to be honest, Ric Flair doesn't really change too much in the face. Okay, so main show. Eric Bischoff's in the ring. At his side is Boss Man and also WCW champion Sean O'Haire, who has the beautiful Stacy Keibler with him. Bischoff introduces us to the announce team, who will work exclusively for Nitro. That's Mike Tenay, Jerry Lawler and Bobby Heenan. The trio shake hands with everyone in the ring and take their seat at the announce desk as we go to the titles, the intros. So that got 76, so that's not a bad start. Okay, still in the ring. Eric Bischoff, Boss Man, Sean O'Haire, Stacy Keibler. Bischoff announces the first 2 draft picks that are joining Nitro are Goldberg and Booker T. The camera catches their reactions in the locker room. Goldberg gets up and makes his way to the ring. Gets right in Sean O'Haire's face. Boss Man has to separate him. Booker T's music then hits. He stops in the entrance ramp and announces that he also wants a piece of the gold. Don't hate the player, hate the game. It's got a 100 and it's to start one of my storylines. So good start to the storyline. Triple threat. Taka Michinoku defeats James Gibson and Super Crazy. Taka defeating Crazy on this one. That's got 69. We're backstage with Kevin Nash and DDP. Thunder's first pick is none other than the big bad Booty Daddy, Big Papa Pump himself, Scott Steiner. Steiner's about to cut a promo when we hear, well, CM Punk walks into the office. DDP introduces us to Thunder's second pick, CM Punk, and Steiner and Punk will meet one-on-one tonight. 86, and that's the start off the new world title that's going to be on Thunder, called the Global Title Storyline. 86. Singles match, Chavo Guerrero defeats Evan Bourne. 74. Bischoff's in his office, gets a knock on the door. Joe and Kazarian, both holding their titles, which will be the TV and the Cruiserweight title, walk in. Kaz does the talking, reminding Bischoff that tag teams count as 1 pick, and they know a couple of guys. AJ Styles and Daniels enter. So what do you think? Bischoff says, actually, that's not a bad idea. Bad Influence is his 3rd pick. Before they get a chance to celebrate, Bossman enters and clears them out of the office. It says, Boss, your next pick's here, 85. The next pick walk in. Rob Van Dam, Bryan Danielson, Jerry Lynn and Shane Helms. Bischoff welcomes in and announces the Rising as the 4th pick. He says, also tonight lads, I need 2 of you to team up to face 2 of the group that just left. So there'll be a Rising versus Bad Influence tag match. I got 78. Tag action. Motor Machine Guns defeat the Hart Foundation. Alex Shelley picking up the win. 79, that's a good rating. Kevin Nash and DDP are shaking hands with someone. As soon as he turns around the camera, it's Jeff Jarrett. He's confirmed the next draft pick. Kevin Nash is called to the hallway. He makes his way out. Suddenly it gets into darkness. The lights flicker on and off, and Nash is surrounded by a group. The lights come back on. Vampiro, Abyss, and Judas Messias are here. Kevin Nash says, "Welcome to Thunder, gentlemen." And that got 93. Excellent. 4-way match. Bigelow beats James Storm. BG James and CW Anderson. Hits a big power bomb on CW Anderson for the win. Shawn O'Hare's back in the ring with Stacy. He says he won't be disrespected again. This is his show. He is the champion and everyone should pay attention to him. Nigel McGuinness appears. "Mr. World Champion, you have my attention. I am the next pick and I have my sights set on that big gold belt you hold. 2003 will be the year of Nigel McGuinness." Another 100 segment. Bischoff is backstage. He welcomes his 6th pick to Nitro, none other than the former tag team champions, the Steiner Warriors. The duo don't look too happy about it, probably because Scott Steiner is on the other show, 76th. Another tag match, Monty Brown and Chuck Palumbo, the US champ and the hardcore champ, defeat Jidrak and Stasiak with the pounce. 79 is quite a high rating. Kevin Nash is in the ring. If I can be serious for a minute. My next draft pick is Lance Storm. He makes his way to the ring with manager Major Guns. He ignores shaking hands with Nash and takes the mic instead. Before he gets a chance to talk, Rey Mysterio appears. Kevin Nash confirms he is the 6th pick. He plays for the crowd, but Lance Storm does not look happy. And it's got a 98, so my angles are smashing it today. Buff Bagwell defeats Brian Clark, 78. Conan's backstage arguing with Chris Kanyon. It catches Bischoff's attention. He was walking past. He lets them know he likes the spirit of competition. Tells them both there is next 2 picks. And also they can settle this little dispute in the ring tonight. 74. Women's tag team action. Gail King and Rain defeat Daisy Hayes and Natalie Neidhart. Rain beat Hayes with the acid rain. 74, that's pretty good. Okay, DDP's in the backstage with Steve Corino. He welcomes him to Thunder. They shake hands, and as Corino leaves, DDP heads back to Kevin Nash's office. When he gets there, Nash is talking to Thunder's next pick, and that is the team of Shane Douglas, Chris Hero, and Renee. They are the franchise, of course. 94. Tag team action. The Rising defeat the Bad Influence. Danielson defeats Kazarian with a label lock. Not a bad start. 78. Bischoff tells Bossman he's got this one. Bossman approaches Ken Shamrock, who once upon a time he was a former tag team champion with. He tells him he is on Nitro and maybe down the line they could get the band back together. 88 for that one. Kidman and London are chatting to Flair and Awesome. A lot of respect is being shown. They talk about a rematch down the line. Bischoff interrupts though and says this isn't going to happen anytime soon because Kidman and Paul London are officially on Nitro. 89. Single match, Kanyon defeats Conan with the flatliner. 79. Nash and DDP decide they need to add some depth to the roster. So I'm going to add a couple of teams. First up is Barry Windham and Kurt Hennig. The camera pans to them, they look pretty happy about the decision. And finally the group led by David Will Smiths, which are the Bulldogs, are officially on Thunder. That's Chad Collar, Harry Smith, TJ Wilson. And the main event, CM Punk defeats Scott Steiner with the Anaconda Vice 87. Yeah, I thought that'd be quite decent rated show. So the first 10 picks of each draft drew me a 90 rated Nitro. Boom. I'd be very surprised if Raw beats me, but you never know in this game. Oh, and they did as well. Raw got a 92. Benoit defeated. Big Show got a 98 apparently. All the news I've got is about, well, Stasiak was unhappy about his push apparently. It's getting a bit crazy-ack for Planet Stasiak. And my decision making is to do Chuck Palumbo. Find a steroid test. I've also gone for loads of superstars, so that'll come through soon. Doug Williams there. So very mixed picture pack now, so some of them have changed automatically and some I have to manually change myself, so obviously I've just focused on my own show, as that will be seen the most. Alright, I've got a few decisions to make. SmackDown got an 84. Kirby gets divorced, there's Trish Stratus there in a women's referee shirt. Kid Cash is hurt. Spinal disalignment. Oh god, that means he's out for a long time. Oh, not too bad, 51 days, I thought longer. So I'm picking up a few signings on my brands. For my developmental, Chris Masters being one, Marco Capone if you know who he is, Derek Bateman, Salas Young. I know you guys can't see this, so bear with me. I'm just whizzing through this as quick as possible. Picked up Corey Graves, Jay Briscoe, Drago, who is from Mexico, Shark Boy, and finally Bryan Danielson wants a pay rise. Maybe next time I'll stop the video, do the decisions, and then re-record. Probably makes sense. Alright, let's see what's coming up. Chris Candido returns. I've got loads of decisions to do, and what I've got here, Brian Lee and David Arquette won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. What a team, huh? They defeated Tank Abbott and Mike Rotundo in the final. The Model Citizens, El Generico, and so that's Sami Zayn and Finn Balor. That's a cool tag team. Anyway, up next will be Thunder. I've got some decisions to do, so you'll probably find after it will jump straight to my Thunder booking. Alright everyone, we are at Thunder. Lots of custom angles booked on this one, so hopefully, you know, bear with me. It might be quite a long show. Like you can see, I've got 26 segments, quite a lot. Alright, let's start with a pre-show match. The Steiner Warriors defeat the Hart Foundation. Road Warrior Animal picking up the victory with the Steiner Doomsday, 73. Jeff Jarrett defeats Alex Shelley with a stroke, 74. Alright, so Kevin Nash is in the ring. He introduces us to the Thunder, announced team of Joey Styles, Don Callis, and Joe Gardner making his debut to the main roster. They're quickly cut off by Eric Bischoff, says no one cares about the B show. Let's finish drafting, and this particular show is the rest of the current roster. Nitro's next two picks will face off tonight. They are Buff Bagwell and Bam Bam Bigelow. 88, and Joe Gardner got a great for his gimmick of the prima donna. For those who don't know who Joe Gardner is, he was on ECW, so check that out. He's pretty cool. Pissed off Kevin Nash is backstage with DDP. He tries to calm him down. He brings in the next pick, the Motor City Machine Guns. They thank him for the chance to prove themselves. Nash tells them to make the most of the opportunity. The Guns leave the office. Nash turns to the camera and announces, oh, by the way, the other pick will be none other than Dustin Rhodes. Camera cuts to the locker room and Dustin seems unfazed by this announcement. It's got an 80. You know, I'm not sure what the angle's going to be this time because there's a lot of mid-carders, to be honest, so we'll see. Nigel McGuinness defeats Jimmy Yang with the Tower of London, 77. Bischoff is shaking hands with Brian Clark. He says he's made a good decision drafting him. The boss man enters. He makes a request. He wants to toughen up the roster and is handpicked to cut the guys. He's got Chris Candido and C.W. Anderson with him. Bossman says he will personally put these guys in line to help do whatever is needed to make Nitro great again. Bischoff approves and makes the Enforcers his next pick. Oh, it's got an 83, and the performance of Bossman was fantastic. Right, Bossman's brilliant on my game. A lot of menace angles. That helps him. James Storm defeats James Gibson, or Jamie Noble, with the super kit, got a 62. For the match, DDP appears, announces that he was impressed with what he saw, and that both of them have been drafted to Thunder. Tag match, Kidman and London defeat Judas Messias and Abyss. They are pretty much one of my big tag teams now, Kidman and London, 74. Moments away from a match between Chris Hero and Chuck Collar. Nathan Jones unexpectedly makes his way to the ring. The competitors have little time to react as Jones single-handedly decimates them both. Having manhandled Chris Hero, Jones executes his finishing move on Chuck Collar. Bischoff appears and says, wow, that's impressive. Welcome to Nitro. 85. Bischoff is then backstage with Bret Hart. Appears a deal's been done and the Hart Foundation have been drafted to Nitro as well. 75. CM Punk defeats Harry Smith for the Anaconda Vice. 78. Nash and DDP are looking over what's left of the active roster. They decide to boost the Cruiserweight and Tag division and draft Chavo Guerrero Jr. and the Naturals. 66. One of my feuds. Conan attacks Canyon from behind, starts beating him up and leaves him down and bloodied and beaten. And it's got a 99, so that shows you how much entertainment these guys provide. And this is one of my Nitro angles, but I just thought I'd feature it on the show before the draft is final. 6-man tag. Booker T, Scott Steiner, Ken Shamrock defeat Bad Influence, Kazarian, AJ Styles, and Daniels. And they got 77. Bischoff, worried about Thunder raiding the tag and cruiserweights, decides to pick Amazing Airborne, and Takemichinoku. 62. Nash is about to picks another cruiserweight, Kaz Hayashi. BG James walks into the office and complains big time about it taking so long for him not to be picked yet. He then changes his tune and begs Nash to do him a favour. Nash thinks long and hard, but eventually he drafts BG James to Thunder. 76. TV title. Samoa Joe defeats Jerry Lynn. This got an 80, and it's Joe's first official title defense. And again, this is the Rising versus Bad Influence, a Nitro storyline. Nash and Bischoff running down the rest of the roster. Bischoff picks Yang, an attack combo of Jidrak and Stasiak, while Nash counters with Danny Doring, Roadkill, and Super Crazy. It's announced there'll be one final pick, and then the rules for next week's shows. 66. Let's got women's match to feature on the roster. Stacey Keebs beats Beth Phoenix and Emi Shikari with a submission. I should probably give her the Widowmaker. Awesome and Flair just cut a promo. 100. Bam Bam Bigelow is beaten by Buff Bagwell with the Buff Blockbuster. 74. Goldberg in a squash match destroys Takemichinoku. 59. The final picks are in. Nitro gets Shannon Moore. Nash gets Psychosis. They announced that Nitro and Thunder next week will be more draft picks. They'll be exclusive to the new women's division on both shows, and also all developmental. So the next Nitro and the next Thunder will have their official starting rosters, but there'll be more draft picks, and it'll be women and developmental talent. Monty Brown defeats Kurt Hennig to retain the United States title. This is actually a Thunder roster. 77. Following the match, Shane Douglas floors Monty Brown and then poses with the US title, and this is a new storyline for Thunder. Shane Douglas is targeting the US champ, and they got 100, so good old Douglas, he loves a good angle for me. Lance Storm calls out Rey Mysterio and challenges him to a match. It's got 95, that's massive. And this actually happens as my main event. Lance Storm defeats Rey Mysterio after 21 minutes with the Canadian Maple Leaf. This got an 87. Right, following all them angles. Wow, I was actually surprised with this. I got a 90. This is brilliant because there were so many angles with so many low mid-carders. So yeah, definitely pleasantly surprised with that one. So let's see what we've got. Some office stuff. If I can actually grab my mouse properly. Loads of development want to be called up. CM Punk has told me roadkill is money. Strap a rocket to him. Roadkill, huh? Didn't expect that one. Let's have a quick look. Hey, Hiroshi Hayes. So some people you'll see with the new pictures, some will have the classic ones that was already in the game. My rosters, for example, will have pictures that I assigned to them. Vampiro wants a pay rise. A couple of my referees want a pay rise. Doesn't bother me. I'm also looking at signing a few road agents because I'm debating about splitting the road agents up so they're a bit more divided. As I'm raiding my developmental, I might as well go on hiring a raid at some point. So my decisions, for example, I've just signed Bob Orton Jr., Randy Orton's dad, as a road agent. Deja's coming back to the roster. Nice. Canyon wants a pay rise. I think he's doing pretty good, so I shall accept. Let's have a quick look through the news. There's a new picture. Cyber Nitro making enemies. Wrestle War. Wesley Bursick was the star. My developmental is going to get hit hard soon when I raid him. Reno hurt. Chronic back pain. Will he be called up? Who knows? 10 news. All of it was developmental ones calling up. More decisions. Davey Boy Smith is now fully fit. To be honest, I didn't even know he was injured. 3 more contracts. I've just signed Roddy Piper as a road agent. Well, trainer. Jake the Snake Roberts as a road agent. And Dave Taylor as a developmental trainer. So there's Jake Roberts. I think I signed him as a road agent. I'll tweak his picture in a little while. Okay, let's have a quick look. So, to be honest, I don't really... New Japan back then. New Japan got an 81 in case you really wanted to know. Not quite the same New Japan as it is today. 53 for developmental. Skipper and Cena. Finley and Drew versus Lismark and Rude. I can tell you now, some of them are going to get called up. Look, Claudio Cesaro finally got picked up by someone. Making enemies. Broke a story which led to promotion while using subliminal messages. Okay, that's weird. Right, so to be honest, oh look, Ultimate Dragon. I'm going to leave it on this screen because I will be doing my call-ups and sorting my show out. So the next thing you'll see is I will be at Nitro with the Nitro exclusive roster plus some draft picks. And yeah, that's what's coming up next. And like magic, we are at Nitro. As you can see, a new logo. Because, you know, it's an upgrade. We've had an upgrade. Alright, an absolutely jam-packed show. Including draft picks galore. Okay, here we go. So pre-show match, Amazing Red versus Jerry Lynn. This would have been a good X Division match back in the day. Lynn picks up the win, 67. Another pre-show match, Bryan Danielson defeats Shannon Moore and Bam Bam Bigelow with the LeBell lock. So Bam Bam went from being like one of the first draft picks from Thunder to a pre-show match. I'm sure we appreciate that. 68. Right, main show. And this will be hard work with the ratings because a lot of people got no overness. Nash and Bischoff welcome us to Nitro. New part of the draft is the women and developmental talent being called up to the main roster. 12 picks each will happen tonight and 12 picks each will happen on Thunder. Nitro then drafts China. The former WWE talent gets a big reception from the crowd. She issues an open challenge to whoever Kevin Nash first female pick is, and he introduces us to Wesley Bursick. Nitro also, who doesn't draft Kevin Nash, Nitro also drafts Austin Aries, while Thunder counters by drafting Pete Williams. However, the focus is clearly on the 2 women this time round, so it's got a 61. Tag team match, Kidman and London defeat the Hart Foundation. 76. Bischoff is in his office with the boss man. Nitro's next pick shown shaking his hand and leaves with a "You're welcome." Nitro have drafted Damien Sandow. After he leaves, there's a knock on the door. The next pick enters. It's Amazing Kong. She gets right into Bossman's face. She has no fear. She looks at Bischoff and does the belt motion to her waist. She clearly has her sights set on being champion. 76. Rick Steiner defeats Taka Michinoku in a one-on-one match. Kevin Nash is walking the hallways talking on his phone. Eric Bischoff has decided he hasn't got an office to do his work. He announces Thunder's next two picks are Bobby Roode and the Alpha Female. 74. Bischoff announces that Nitro will be introducing 3 new titles: the Nitro Tag titles, the Nitro Women's title, and the North American title, which will replace the US title. And they will crown the champions at the Nitro only pay-per-view at the end of the month. That got an 89. Camera cuts the announce table. Tenay Lawler and Bobby Heenan hype the main event that's just been announced. Sean O'Haire, Nigel McGuinness versus Goldberg and Booker T. Cruiserweight title defense. Frankie Kazarian defeats Evan Bourne with the Wave of the Future. 74 is not bad. Bischoff is sweet talking Nitro's next pick, Beth Phoenix. Mikey Whipwreck bursts into the office and thanks him for being drafted. This makes Bischoff irate. He books Mikey Whipwreck in a match tonight. And that match happens pretty quickly. Brian Clark defeats Mikey with the meltdown. 64. Welcome to Thunder. Nash is shaking hands with Mercedes Martinez. She joins the women's division. Well, at least she didn't wait too long to pick the next breakout star. Prince Devitt strolls up to Nash. Nash offers his hand. Devitt does the too sweet hand gesture. Nash says you have to earn that. And I got 64. Not too bad considering her overness. Bossman's given the honour and announced the next picks. Winter has joined the Nitro Women's division. A cocky Jay Lethal appears. He announces himself as the brand. Bossman's not impressed with this and floors him with a hard right hand. 67. Buff Bagwell defeats Nathan Jones when Nathan Jones got disqualified after going into an attacking rage. 78, that's a pretty good rating considering. And this is going to be a new storyline. So we're going to have Buff Bagwell and Nathan Jones in a storyline. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super excited. Daisy Hayes hugs Nash. She runs off to call her family to tell them good news. Nash can hear someone talking to himself. It's Eric Young. Hey, Showtime. But Nash scares the crap out of Showtime, who runs off. Hey man, it's okay. You're my next pick. Eric Young rushes back and quickly shakes hands with Nash and then runs off again. So I've gone with the, for anyone that watched TNA Impact Wrestling, the Dope Fire Eric Paranoid gimmick. 67. So the Rise in Bad Influence storyline continues with Rob Van Dam defeating, Christopher Daniels defeating Rob Van Dam. That's a big win. 80. And a pretty good chemistry as well. Conan and Canyon are backstage. An argument breaks out and they start brawling with each other. A host of road agents break them up. So this is going to be the first match booked on my pay-per-view, Sin. So Sin will be the Nitro only pay-per-view. And so far we're going to have Conan versus Chris Canyon. Well, I guess at 99 you can't not put it on there really. China defeats Wesley Borshik with a powerbomb. 67. This was a normal match, though it's not an eye candy match. So yeah, it's a pretty good rating. Bischoff and Nash go back and forth. They announce 3 more picks each. Nitro has Lizzie Valentine, Sunday Jonah Lefusto, Thunder Get, Evan Courageous, OBD, and Sakori. And they announce they've all got 1 pick each left. 52 is pretty bad. Ken Shamrock defeats C.W. Anderson with the ankle lock, 79. Following the match, Bossman is shown waiting behind the curtain. Ken Shamrock passes by. The two nod at each other. Then C.W. Anderson and Chris Candido appear. Bossman berates the pair, saying if they want to join the establishment, they need to prove their worth. And they got an 80. Samoa Joe defeats a Road Warrior Animal with Muscle Buster and retains his TV title, 77. That's a good rating. Kevin Nash gets into a limo, ready to leave, where there's a knock on a window, and it's none other than the famous Mexican luchador, El Generico. Nash tells him to get into the limo. Off to Thunder we go. Generico gives us an ole as the limo drives off, 70. AJ Styles defeats Shane Helms with the Styles Clash. It's got an 82. So tonight, Bad Influence has got 2 wins over the Rising. Eric Bischoff is in the ring with the Bossman. They decide that they will now be known as the Establishment. Bossman kind of gave that away anyway. And not only that, the final Nitro pick will join the group. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome former WCW World Champion David Arquette. The trio celebrate in the ring, and new alliance is born. 95. Yes, that's right. David Arquette is back. He was in my development, and I thought, why not? Let's use him. Get some. He's got a little bit of overness. Let's see what he can do. Got 95, so that can't be bad. Main event: exceptional match. Booker T and Goldberg defeat Sean O'Haire and Nigel McGuinness. Goldberg pinning Sean O'Haire following a spit. It's got 90. And we're going to pre-book another match for Sin. We're going to have a Fatal 4-Way. And it will be for the World Heavyweight title. Of course it will be. That will be Sean O'Haire, Nigel, Booker T, and Goldberg. Following the match, Sean Stasiak and Mark Jindrak hit the ring, turns into a 4-on-2 beatdown, with Goldberg and Booker T, the unlucky 2, being beaten down. Booker T takes a double powerbomb through the announce table thanks to Stasiak and Jindrak. Goldberg tries, but the numbers catch up to him. He's left out cold. Suddenly though, Nigel McGuinness is tagged and eats a huge chair shot to the head from O'Haire. Keebler grabs the mic and announces that Sean O'Haire, Sean Stasiak, and Mark Jindrak are back together. This is the rebirth of the Natural Born Thrillers. And that got 93, so that's my main event storyline there for Nitro. Sweet, a 91 for the show. I was again surprised by that because of the amount of developmental talent making their debut on the roster. So yeah, pretty happy with that. There's my new logo. Cool. So we beat Raw. Raw got 90. Benoit defeated Angle. Hey, All Japan have lost their head booker. So it's something. Jimmy Yang. This is the more he gets pushed, the more nervous he gets. Francina. So yeah, there's a lot to take in that show. New titles are up here. Got some matches for Sin. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the developmental talents and the custom angles I'm putting forward. SmackDown got an 89. Chris Benoit went to a no contest with the Big Show. Well, it's the Big Show. Okay, nothing too major in the news. So we'll just quickly run through Wednesday. Shark Boy. I should probably have called up some people before my development had its show, but never mind. Let's have a rundown. Shark Boy won the X Division title. Brian Lee won the world title. Team Sympathy won the tag titles. Who are Team Sympathy? They are Mickey James and Gail Kim. Yeah, that was going to change, not going to lie. Some of them might appear soon. Finally defeated Eddie Edwards. Shark Boy defeated a whole host of people. So yeah, quite a lot happened on that show. Right, so up next, just like a Nitro, it's going to jump from this screen to the next as I do some tweaking for my roster, and it will be the last round of draft picks before my final rosters are settled. Right, as you can see, we're at Thunder, again another updated logo, and the final section of the draft. So in a pre-show match, Kaz Hayashi took on Evan Courageous. Evan Courageous gets the win. Hyping the crowd, 57. Tag team match again to hype the crowd. Prince Deverett and James Storm defeat the Naturals. Or Finn Balor, if you can't remember who Prince Deverett is. Hits a double foot stop, diving double foot stop for the win. This is just to get him used because obviously with the draft there's extra people on the roster at the moment. So we start off, Finley's in the, Nash is in the office with Eric Bischoff on speakerphone, who is apparently running late. He announces Gail Kim and Finley as the first picks for Nitro. They're already in the office. Finley don't seem impressed with the fact that Bischoff can't even be bothered to turn up. I've obviously picked a few of the wrong names here, but the message is Gail Kim and Finley have been drafted to Nitro. Squash match really. Dustin Rhodes defeats Super Crazy with a Darkness Falls, 56. DDP with Nash. They said they're going to be professional about their job, unlike Nitro. They picked Daphne and a veteran in Mike Rotundo who was working in development to help people. So he's going to get a second chance. They seem pretty grateful for the opportunity. 74. Tag team match, the Dark Carnival. Defeat the Calgary Bulldogs. Abyss made Harry Smith submit somehow. Abyss and Vampiro, good pairing. 60 it's got. Bischoff finally arrives in a limo. He steps out with Angelina Love on his arm. He announces her as Nitro's next pick. He shouts at the driver to get his bags. Lash LaRue is the driver. Bischoff chuckles and says, "You know what? You did me a favour. Welcome to Nitro, kid." Lash LaRue seems pretty happy that he's actually got a job and he's on Nitro. Page introduces us to a good cruiserweight prospect in Lismark Jr., a new addition to Thunder. Mike Sanders appears. He is not happy. He wanted to be on Nitro with his boys, but he'll settle to be in a B show. DDP takes exception to that and books him in a match against him tonight. Another tag match. Barry Windham and Kurt Hennig defeat the Bulldogs. Hennig pinning David Boy Smith with a Henningplex, 74. Always like Kurt Hennig. Bischoff, still with Angelina clinging to him, announces the return of Kendall Windham to the main roster, plus the new and improved Air Paris. So they'll be joining Nitro, 63. Kevin Nash is shaking hands with Paul Burchill. He introduces not only his manager, but a fine member of the women's division ready to make an impact, and that is Trinity. And they're drafted to Thunder. Considering Trinity and Birchall have 0 in their overness. To get 67 here is pretty good. 6-man tag. Yang and the Machine Guns defeat Chavo, Doring and Roadkill. Chris Sabin hitting the Future Shock on Danny Doring, picking up the win. 70 is pretty good. BG James is walking backstage. He turns the corner and bumps into Chuck Palumbo. BG says he is lucky to be in the same show as him and goes as far as challenging him to a title shot. Chuck Palumbo agrees, so we've got a hardcore title match. It's got an 80. Angelina Love is freshening up. Eric Bischoff uses his time to draft Addison Danger and Kevin Owens or Kevin Steen to the roster. Steen says Bischoff might not know it now, but he's just drafted the best kept secret. Still in a WWE line there, but 56. You know, I knew these angles weren't going to be high because of developmental, but it's a good way to get him started. Lance Storm defeats El Generico with the Canadian Maple Leaf. Lance Storm is clearly a star. 59. Nash announces Thunder will have its own women's title. 2 more picks to help boost the roster. Mickey James and cheerleader Melissa. 64. Bischoff seems a bit bored of all this now. He randomly picks on a list Low Key. Then KO approaches. She asks to be on Nitro. Bischoff quickly agrees to that one. 66. Rey Mysterio, still in the show, defeats Psychosis. This got an 80. Main eventer versus an opener gets an 80. Kirsten and John Cena, who is now about to get a rapper gimmick, of course. Enter Kevin Nash's office. Cena gets a rap about how Thunder just took a big step in drafting them. 67. Monty Brown defeats Chris Hero in a decent match. It's got a 79. Following the match, Shane Douglas, along with his icon Renee Merrill, cut a promo on being a future US champion. He turns his attention to Chris Hero and reminds him he didn't take him under his wing because he's a good wrestler. He wants to see the badass KO artist. Next week, Chris Hero gets franchised. So Chris Hero is going under a bit of a gimmick change here. 86 I got, pretty good. A little bit of an upset. BG James defeats Chuck Palumbo using a foreign object. He wins the hardcore title. 66. Bischoff can't wait to leave to start the real business on Nitro. The final 2 picks are Luke Skipper and Rain. 79. CM Punk defeats James Gibson in a good match. 77. There we go. Final. Kevin Nash is in the ring. He thanks everybody for keeping with them, considering we have a lot of new faces on the roster. He introduces the final picks. Drago will add to the new Cruiserweight division, which will now be called the WCW X division on Thunder. Giant Singh, aka the Great Khali, makes his way to the ring. He is the final draft pick. The Giant throws Drago over the top rope and out the ring. He then towers over Kevin Nash. He reminds him that he's the boss. Eventually agents hit the ring and get the monster to the back. 75. DDP defeats Mike Sanders with Diamond Cutter. 68. Video airs announcing the new global title. An 8-man tournament will feature CM Punk, Mike Awesome, Steve Corino, Scott Steiner, Vampiro, Lance Storm, Rey Mysterio, and Jeff Jarrett. Main event. Scott Steiner, Ric Flair and Mike Awesome defeat Jeff Jarrett, Steve Corino and Vampiro. Steiner making Jarrett tap out to the Steiner recliner. 88. 85, yeah, that's a lot higher than I was anticipating, considering the angles weren't amazing, let's be honest. A lot of 60s and low 70s, so I'm pretty happy that Thunder got an 85. And that, my friends, is the draft. Ooh, that took a while. Took it out of me. Kurt Hennig. Swear I have to find Kurt Hennig every week. Alright, Hooven Toot. So he was undrafted, Hooven Toot. So he will be on Thunder because he's part of the crew with Psychosis. Joey Matthews wins the world title in developmental. Roderick Strong wins the cruiserweight title. Well, I have proper raided the roster, so they needed new champs. Right, let's have a quick look at the news. We've also signed Tanaka back to the roster. I'm going to have him go to Nitro. So he was undrafted, he's literally just come in as a last minute signing. No big news, I guess. Colt Cabana the star. No title changes just yet. Alright, let's have a little quick skim through the news. David Flair is the new X Division champion. Defeats Shark Boy. What a match that must have been, huh? Shark Boy versus David Flair. Is that CML for Jimmy Hart? Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Mark Perna Rugby. So Muhammad Hassan's going to be teaming up with Robbie E. Or Rob Stone in NXT. Robert Stone, sorry. They look like they're going under. New booker for All Japan. Right, up next will be Nitro. I'm just going to do my final tidying up of the roster and then it will appear on the Nitro booking screen. So that was the draft. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the new storylines and the new direction both shows will be taking. Okay, so the first Nitro, the new era, is booked. Let's get going. I managed to use everybody. So pre-show match, Teddy Hart defeats Aries and Taka. Open heart surgery, 64. Very good rating for a few cruiserweights there. Bigelow defeats Jay Lethal with his traditional diving headbutt. In a pre-show match just to get him used. Eric Bischoff announces tonight we will crown the new WCW Nitro Tag Team Champions in a 4-way tag team match. So that's one of the 3 new belts on Nitro. Sort of getting some superstars on the roster match. Jack Evans, who's already been on the roster a little while, picks up the win over Air Paris Low Key, Elite Skipper and Sanjay Dutt. Again, a lot of these will easily fit into the Cruiserweight division. It's got a 63. Kevin Steen defeats Mikey Whipwreck with the pop-up powerbomb. Again, 55, you've got to remember, these have just debuted on the roster, so it'll take a little while before they get over. Bischoff speaks with Booker T, Goldberg and Nigel McGuinness. He informs them that they'll be teammates and they'll face the Natural Born Threaders in a 6-man tag. 86 is pretty good. Finlay returns to the roster, defeats Tanaka with the Celtic Cross. Tanaka's re-debuting, 62 this got. Damien, allow me to beg your indulgence for one moment. My name is Damien Sandel. and I'm here to help all of you. I cannot and will not engage with this ignoramus in the ring this evening. I do this for the benefit of all of you. You're welcome. Only 38, but this was just me playing around with the old Damien Sandow gimmick. See who gets over. Three-way Tori Wilson defeats Gail Kim and Lizzie Valentine. This got a 73, and this was an eye candy match. Steiner Warriors not in the tag title match, but they win in a tag match against Shannon Moore and Kendall Windham with the Steiner Doomsday, 68. Bossman gives a pre-speech to the enforcers. He tells them to win at all costs, and then they do by pinning Amazing Red illegally using the ropes for the win. 66 ain't bad. Conan calls out Canyon, whose music hit. Canyon doesn't appear, someone impersonating him. Conan makes fun of him, however this stops when the real Canyon comes out and they have a little bit of a brawl. So this is probably one of my hottest feuds at the moment on Nitro, because Canyon is massively over. It's got a 95. Nathan Jones jumps Bagwell backstage, beats him, throwing him into Kaio's where she's standing partly closed, 76. Okay, Natural Born Thrillers promo got 74. Shamrock defeats Brian Clark, this got 76. Shamrock's in the ring. Following this match, David Arquette arrives on the scene. He introduces us again to Angelina Love, who is his manager now apparently. He gets in the ring with a cocky attitude, runs down Shamrock as a bad wrestler. Shamrock is in no mood and knocks him on his ass before leaving the ring, and this actually got an 86. So Arquette's doing a little program with Ken Shamrock. China and Winter defeats Lapuso and Allison Danger. They got 50, but it was supposed to sort of calm the crowd down. Following the match, a three-way brawl breaks out between China, Beth Phoenix, and Amazing Kong. Tag title match. AJ Styles and Daniels defeats Kidman London, Lynn and Danielson, and Helms and RVD. It came down to Kidman and London versus AJ and Daniels. It's got an 84. Following the match, they celebrate with Kaz and Joe. All four of them now have gold. Main event, I only got a 76. Natural Born Thrillers are beaten by Booker T, Goldberg, and Nigel McGuinness. Yeah, 83, but I'm building new storylines, so that's not too bad. Not too bad. Right, Raw got a 90, Kurt Angle defeated Chris Benoit. Again, we only got an 83, which wasn't the most amazing show. It's probably my lowest show actually for a while. Believe it or not, Kurt Hennig last to leave because he was unhappy how I basically told him off for taking steroids. People are starting to get over already after one show, so that's pretty good. So in week 3, so we've got Thunder coming up, and then we'll have 2 brand only pay-per-views this month. DX defeat Hall and Chris Jericho. James Mitchell there. Okay, pretty quick. Alright. Hey look, Nikki Rocks claims title. EC3 is going to be teaming up with Jinder Mahal there. Brian Lee, early 45 for the developmental, but you know, I have raided the developmental, so it kind of makes sense. Cool, right, up next is Thunder, and we're building the next show after Thunder will be Thunder's pay-per-view, so we're building towards that. Right, here we go. The Thunder before the pay-per-view. I think I'm happy with it. We'll see. Pre-show match. TJ Wilson teaming up with Natalia to defeat Cheerleader Melissa and El Generico. This got a 53. Neidhart pinned Melissa here. Second pre-show match, 5-way. Sanders defeats James Gibson, Super Crazy, Kazuyoshi and Drago when he hit the Thriller Killer. 57's not a bad start. Right, main show. Trinity shown backstage flirting with Ric Flair. She asks Flair to come back to her locker room. That should be Flair answers with a big woo. 67's not bad. Wyndham and Rotundo reunited to defeat the Naturals. I left this blank to be honest, but there you go, 54. Three-way women's match. Mercedes Martinez defeats Emu and Daphne. 44 again. They got no overness, so it's now a new rebuilding job for me with WCW. So this one I'm pretty happy about. Lance Storm's in the ring with Major Guns. He tells us the draft brought him some great things. Real wrestlers, Canadian wrestlers. The new and improved Team Canada is here for one thing, to take back the title belts and bring them home to Canada. P. Williams, Eric Young and Bobby Roode, do your country proud. As you can see, Roode, Young and P there have all got their Team Canada looking picture. Yeah, 62 is pretty good because those three have barely any overness, so Lance Storm hopefully will have a good effect on these guys. Prince Deverett defeats Lismont Jr. Got 56, pretty good. BG James and Chuck Palumbo are in the ring about to have a rematch for the hardcore title. Out comes Giant Singh. He destroys Chuck fairly quick, but BG James manages to leg it out of harm's way. I got 71 again. Singh or Great Khali had 0 overness, so getting the 71 is pretty good. Singles match for Judas Messias here, defeats Chavo Guerrero, who's got 66. Bit of a Scott Steiner promo, basically having digs at other people in his title contender. It's got an 88. Motor City Machine Guns defeat Doring, Roadkill and Juventud and Psychosis. Shelley Pin and Roadkill. It's got a 70. Motor City Machine Guns are looking good at the moment. Three-way brawl. Oh, it's changed Nash's gimmick. Between ODB, Wesner Bersic and Alpha Female. Kevin Nash comes out and books a match. This will take place at the pay-per-view and will be for the Thunder women's title. So one of these women will be your first Thunder women's champion. Jimmy Yang defeats Evan Courageous with 58 with a roll-up. Trinity shown in the locker room with Ric Flair. As they walk in, Flair is jumped by Paul Burchill. He beats down Flair with Trinity cheering him on. The duo make out over a fallen Ric Flair, a well-laid plan. So Paul Burchill getting chucked in the deep end here. Big feud. He had no overness, so we'll see how that pans out. Abyss defeats Harry Smith. This got a 66. A new feud testing the waters. DDP and John Cena have a bit of insult trading. 78, that's a great start. So this will have a feud, hopefully be a good one down the line. An eye candy match. Daisy Hayes defeats Kristen. 68. James Storm, big win, defeats Davey Boy Smith for a super kick. That's also got a 66. This is a very average Thunder. Shane Douglas and Monty Brown agreed to meet one-on-one at the pay-per-view Sunday in a 30-minute Iron Man match for the US title. They signed the paperwork, then Chris Hero blindsides Monty Brown and clocks him with his title belt. Renee introduces us to the new and improved Cassius Ohno. Shane Douglas raises the title up in the air. Is this a sign for Sunday? So Cassius Ohno has debuted, so Chris Hero's no more. Getting a bit more of a serious attitude about him. CM Punk has a promo. Running down Rey Mysterio, Mike Awesome, Scott Steiner, Steve Corino. Again, hyping up the WCW Global Title Tournament. Dustin Rhodes picks up a win. Darkness Falls over Chad Collar, 74. Ric Flair is backstage with Kevin Nash. He wants Paul Burchill at the pay-per-view. And we are going to oblige and book that for Rick. Big match for Paul Burchill. Main event. These are your 8 participants in the Global Title Tournament. Karina, Jarrett, Vampiro and Punk defeat Awesome, Steiner, Mysterio and Lance Storm. CM Punk locked in the Anaconda Vice to make May Mysterio tap out. 86. Well, 83. That's better than Nitro. I'm surprised with that one. Pleasantly surprised, but still surprised. So, quick gander at the news. Now, I don't get as much complaints now from my developmental. Why is Nash unhappy? Poor gimmick. I made him basically an authority figure gimmick. Let's give him some money. Nash loves some money. So Thunder got an 86. Maybe I should try and poach Jim Neidhart. I mean, I got most of the Hart family anyway. I'll see if I can get him. I'll give him a 1-year deal. He doesn't want to be on. He just wants to be on TV. We'll see. Basically, he's working for CML. Homicide and Mike Bennett won the tag titles. Yeah, basically, he's working for CML, and they've offered him quite a bit of money to stay. Sarah Stock's the new women's champion. So I still get the odd email with the odd person requesting to be called up, but it's not as many as before. Anderson and Brian Lee defeat Jay Briscoe and Carlito in the main event. Right, let's move on. Kurt Hennig, by the way, asked for his release from me. He was unhappy because I fined him for failing a drug test. So I've sweetened him up a bit by sending him in on paid leave. Literally, Elite Skipper and Air Paris have appeared on like 2 shows and they've already asked for a pay rise. OVW, Eugene defeated Randy Orton for their OVW World title. So let's have a look at Elite Skipper. He's asking for a pay rise. Has he even improved this? Oh yeah, he's gone up. So it shows you what global TV deals do for people. They literally can just wrestle and they'll go up like 10 overness without you trying. Okay, this is the Thunder only pay-per-view. and we will be crowning a few new champions, including the first ever WCW Global Champion, which is their version of the World Heavyweight Champion. Okay, the Thunder only pay-per-view is ready. It's hopefully a cool one. Anyway, 6-woman tag to warm up the crowd. Looks like the face has got the win. 44 rating. Pre-show battle royal because I had a tournament. I've used up a lot of spaces on this show. Dustin Rhodes won. It was left blank. Davey Boy Harry and Kasayoshi were the last 4. With it coming down to Davey Boy Smith versus Dustin Rhodes, 68. Okay, a promo from Nash. Basically, welcoming us to the show. Times are changing. You know, that sort of thing. A typical sort of GM promo. Got 100 though. Right, quarterfinals of the tournament. A heel versus heel match. Lance Storm defeats Vampiro. Canadian Maple Leaf. Interference from Major Guns. 82. Scott Steiner defeats Steve Corino. Steiner Recliner. 81. Just to keep the crowd down, a women's match, Trinity defeats Mickey James over moonsault, 62. Was rated on eye candy this match. Another quarterfinal match, CM Punk defeats Mike Awesome. This got an 80. And the final quarterfinal, Rey Mysterio upsets Jeff Jarrett with a surprise roll-up. This got an 82. Ric Flair defeats Paul Burchill, and Burchill got disqualified after going into an attacking rage. It's got 78, and look at that. He got a performance of 20. Like I said, he's got no overness. So this will hopefully put Paul Burchill on the map. So Paul Burchill sets up a table. He then takes Ric Flair and puts him through with a choke slam. 84. Women's Championship match. Wesna Busick defeats ODB in Alpha Female. She wins with a bridge and German suplex. She becomes the first WCW Thunder Women's Champion. 48. 6-way. Chavo, Psychosis, Gibson, Sabin, Prince Davrit and El Generico. Prince Davrit picks up the win and becomes the first WCW X Division Champion. This is Thunder's version of the Cruiserweight title. I got 73. DDP and John Cena have an official basketball competition. After some microphone banter, Cena seems to be finding the basket easily, and is surprised DDP is able to keep up. Feeling the pressure, Cena knocks the ball out of DDP's hand, causing DDP to lose. 78. And so a little bit of banter between Cena and Page. Semi-final. Steiner defeats Lance Storm. Steiner Recliner again. It's got an 80. The other semi-final. CM Punk defeats Rey Mysterio. This match nearly went 20 minutes. Anaconda Vice 88. For Shane Douglas' match, the ref banishes Cassius Ohno from ringside due to his reputation of getting involved in his mates' matches. Douglas protests and complaint falls on deaf ears. Ohno does indeed disappear to the back, leaving Douglas alone. 82. Monty Brown defeats Shane Douglas in the Iron Man match by 3 falls to none. Wow, 3-0 win. 876. The final. CM Punk is defeated by Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner wins the WCW Global title, 84. Following the match, Steiner collapses in the ring with his new belt. Madeja joins him. This only got a 68 for some reason. I don't know. And I got an 83 for the show. Not a bad pay-per-view. You used Paul Burchill too much. He was involved in the match and a beatdown. And he's technically an enhancement talent. But yeah, very good. Scott Steiner given a world title. CM Punk deserves a bit of praise as well. So does Rey Mysterio. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Thunder only pay-per-view with a tournament, new champ. I know I've gone sort of not with a new name, giving it to Scott Steiner. But Scott Steiner, you know, titles need reputations, and Scott Steiner can be a good start. Mike Sanders is moaning. I don't care about Mike Sanders, but hey. So the WCW Global title went to 84 just for that one match. It did start on 78. The X Division title was for 54. So yeah, and the Women's Championship was 44. Royal Rumble. Kane won the Royal Rumble. Got a 90. Scott Hall defeated Rikishi to retain the world title on their show. And we got an 83. But it's all about storyline sometimes. My Canadian Heavyweight Championship. Joey Matthews. Just Incredible is your new European champion. I see. Alright, so that is the start of Thunder. So we're now going to be building, so the next pay-per-view for Thunder will be at the end of Feb, and it will be their own pay-per-view. But yeah, not bad. Up next will be Nitro. So we've still got Nitro, we've still got Thunder, and then we've got a Nitro pay-per-view. Alright, Nitro is ready as we build towards the pay-per-view. Tanaka and LaFusto defeat Shannon Moore, Allison Danger in a pre-show match. Tanaka pins Allison Danger. Roaring elbow, that must have hurt. 47. Finlay defeats Paris and Kendall Windham. So Finlay on a little bit of a winning streak since returning. 57. So Booker T comes down to the ring. And Nigel McGuinness actually challenges him to a one-on-one match. McGuinness feels he's the underdog and no one's taking him seriously. So they'll meet in the main event. This got 99. Sandal defeats Lash LaRue with the Terminus. The crowd was turned off by having two jobbers on the show. Yeah, well, they've got to get over somehow. Gail Kim defeats Winter. That's 48. Eric Bischoff books tag match. Bagwell and Canyon will take on Nathan Jones and Conan tonight. 82. Hey, that's pretty cool. Look, discover the new tag team, Austin Aries and Low Key. Anyway, Sonjay and Lethal defeat Amazing Airborne and Aries and Low Key. But I'm not going to make Aries and Low Key a tag team. Arquette asks Bossman and Bischoff for some help tonight. Bossman recommends he takes Candido and C.W. Anderson with him, as it will be a good test for him. 79. Mixed tag. Karen Steen and Lizzie Valentine defeat Mikey Whipwreck and Angelina Love. Steen hits a pop-up powerbomb again on Whipwreck and picks up the win. 50. So Bryan Danielson, Rob Van Dam, Shane Helms and Jerry Lynn challenge AJ, Joe, Kazarian and Daniels. This will take place at the pay-per-view Sin. So I'm going to pre-book it so I don't forget it. So AJ, Frankie, Christopher, Joe versus Lynn. Nearly put Jerry Lawler in that match then. Bryan Danielson, Shane Helms, and Rob Van Dam. The Rising versus Bad Influence. Singles match, Taka Michinoku defeats Paul London. I got 68. Bit of a main event hype, everybody brawling. O'Hare has his goons, Thrillers, to help him. There's got a 95. Billy Kidman defeats Elite Skipper. Shooting Star Press, 1, 2, 3, 69. Arquette's in the ring, he calls out Shamrock to face him. As soon as Shamrock appears, he's jumped by Anderson and Candido. However, Shamrock fights back and throws Candido out of the ring. He locks CW in the ankle lock. David Arquette gets a cheap shot in, and that allows Anderson to escape. So it didn't quite go to plan there for them. The Rising in a tag match defeat the Hart Foundation. Bryan Danielson make Teddy Hart tap out to the label lock. Fatal 4-way with a lot of older generation superstars in this match, and the Road Warrior Animal beats Bam Bam Bigelow with a top rope power slam. Rain defeats Tori Wilson, Eye Candy match 73. Following the match, Tori Wilson gets jumped by Beth Phoenix and Amazing Kong. Chyna comes running down and makes a save. 68. Promo from Bagwell and Kanyon hyping the match. And here's the tag match. Kanyon and Bagwell pick up the win. Bagwell defeated Nathan Jones at the Buff Blockbuster. 79 is pretty good. Main event. Booker T is on the roll. Defeats Nigel McGuinness. Scissor kick 92. So a strong 90 for the Nitros. Build to go towards their pay-per-view. Oh, we're all beat 90. Yeah, we're all got 90. The Rock and Chris Benoit in the main event. To be fair, that would be a good main event. Jim Neidhart turned me down. See, there he is. He's re-signed. Oh, looks like a Japanese company is about to go under. SmackDown got an 88. Steve Austin defeated Triple H. Sunday Night Heat. Val Venus defeats Bradshaw. Raymond Rougeau passed away. Barry Windham. He revealed he enjoys working against people smaller than himself. Compliments himself. I could give that a test and put Barry Windham against a cruiserweight and see how that works. Daphne's contract's coming up. People always ask for a pay rise. Always ask. How's Daphne doing since she's returned? She's doing okay. She was on a 1-year deal, so it took her nearly a full year to make her way onto the main roster. I'll resign her, to be honest. Okay, Tank Abbott. He's going soon. Anyway, right, up next is another episode of Thunder. And then it will be the Nitro only pay-per-view, and that will be the end of a pretty packed January. Okay, here we go. So, 6-way match. Let's start the hardcore title on the line. BG James goes over Chavo, Generico, Courageous, Sanders, and Yang. 61. Second pre-show match, the Motorship Machine Guns defeat Doring and Roadkill. To be honest, I need to give the Machine Guns a storyline now. I think they're doing pretty well. I think they have earned it. 72. Show starts. Steiner celebrates being the new global world champion. I got 100. Wow. Prince Devitt makes his first title defense, defeats James Gibson, retains the X Division Championship, 68. Triple threat match, Kez Hayashi beats Barry Windham and Lizmark Jr. with the Senton Backsplash, 59. Nash backstage, both CM Punk and Rey Mysterio want a title shot. He decides that he's heard enough, and tonight they'll face each other. The winner will get a title shot. 87. Three-way women's division tag team action. Alpha female cheerleader Melissa defeat ODB with Desi Hayes and Daphne and Mercedes Martinez. Again, just to try and get them on the show, get more over. Giant Singh, the Great Khali, floors BG James and poses with the hardcore title. And I'm going to pre-book that match for next week, the very first show. BG James versus Giant Singh. Calgary Bulldogs are actually defeated by Psychosis and Juventud Guerrera. 73. They were once known as the Mexicals back in the day. Monty Brown gets ambushed by Cassius Ohno and Shane Douglas. And I'm going to pre-book another match for next week. Monty Brown versus Cassius Ohno. Potentially for the US title. We'll cross that bridge when I get to it. James Storm picking up another victory, defeats Chad Collar. This one got 75. James Storm is, with it, you know, Chris Harris has been injured, but Storm's been flying up the card. DDP and Cena have an official beer drinking contest. DDP discovers that Cena's not playing by the rules and is just pouring his beverage onto the canvas when DDP turns his back. Having busted Cena, DDP proceeds to lay a beating on him and drops Cena with his finisher. DDP dozes him with his beer. 86. Now this is going to happen eventually at the pay-per-view. Cena versus DDP, but I'm just getting Cena. Every angle Cena's in with DDP, he's getting him so over. So, nice work, basically. 86. Team Canada. Storm, Pete Williams, Bobby Roode and Eric Young defeat a thrown together team of Drago, Super Crazy and the Naturals. Pete Williams hits his Canadian Destroyer on Andy Douglas and picks up the win. 65. Eye Candy match. Natalia Neidhart defeats Mickie James. 67. Dustin Rhodes picks up a win over Chuck Palumbo. 74. Now this is actually a surprise turn. Jeff Jarrett complaining about not being a world title contender. He is confronted by Vampiro. He points out he is lost and should join him. Jarrett rejects, saying he doesn't need his help. Vampiro reminds him he's all alone now, and it is my world now. On cue, Abyss and Messias attack Jeff Jarrett as Vampiro watched on, pleased with the outcome. This got a 90, and it's a new story. I'm lacking major faces on Thunder, so Jeff Jarrett is actually going to be a face now. See how he gets on with that. Ric Flair is defeated by Steve Corino following a distraction from Trinity. 74. Ric Flair has been attacked by Trinity and Paul Burchill. Seeing the assault, Mike Awesome comes out and saves his tag team partner from a beatdown. And I'm going to book another match for next week. So Thunder's going to have 3 pre-booked matches. That's going to be Mike Awesome against Paul Burchill. Main event, got 69. Punk and Mysterio went to a time limit draw, but it did pre-warn me. This was the 4th time they've met, and I just went with it anyway. Final match though, Steiner hits the ring and a 3-way brawl breaks out. 99. It's going to be low. Ooh, 81. Considering my main event got 69, I'll take that. I was thinking it was going to be in the mid-70s, to be honest. Whew, that was close. Don't think Jarrett's going to be happy with me. His turn didn't go quite to plan. Have a look over here. Oh, I thought he might have been upset, but he wasn't. Just getting a lot of people asking for pay rises now. A lot of developmental guys that have been now on the main roster. I'm just also checking how long Chris Harris is out for. Not as long as I thought. So yeah, that's not too bad. Just checking the news. Right, let's have a look. I think Tyson Ducks become cruiserweight champion again in my developmental. Viper. Right, more news. Brent Albright wants calling up from developmental. Daphne accepts a new contract. Wesner wants a pay rise, and so does Lefusto. That was the news basically. Okay, so like before, I'm going to just do a little bit of tweaking to my roster. But up next will be Sin 2003, which is Nitro's pay-per-view. You're going to have The Rising versus Bad Influence. You've got Bagwell and Nathan Jones. You've got the triple threat for the women's title, Chyna, Beth and Kong. Shamrock's going to potentially kill David Arquette. Conan versus Chris Kanyon. And Sean O'Haire defends the world title against Nigel McGuinness, Booker T and Goldberg. Okay, it's time, we're finally here. The final pay-per-view of the January 2003. And it's a shocker. So to warm up the crowd, Winter defeats Lizzie Valentine, 48. And then a fatal four-way, also to warm up the crowd, Shannon Moore upsets, I would say, Michael Whitbread, Ed Paris and Elite Skipper, hitting his Morgasm. Right, main show, Tenay and Jerry Lawler height the event. Tag match, the Natural Born Thrillers defeat the new team of the Ring Generals, Austin Aries and Low Key. 56 ain't bad. Brian Clark defeats Bam Bam Bigelow with a meltdown, 72. Backstage promo, this is all of it was done on entertainment, so it shows that Jidrak and Stasiak aren't quite ready for that, 67. Damien Sandow and the Hart Foundation defeat Amazing Red and the Starlight Warriors. Now this should give Sandow some overness. 67 that got. Alright, the North American title is won by Billy Kidman in a ladder match. He defeats Kevin Steen, Evan Bourne, Paul London, Taka Michinoku and Kendo Windham. Evan Bourne and Paul London took a stump bump in that match, but yeah, I feel Billy Kidman deserves a singles title run. He's been pretty good for me over the last few months. 77 is a very good rating. The first women's champion, it was always going to be. Chyna defeats Beth Phoenix and Amazing Kong after she powerbombed Amazing Kong. 60. Wow, better than I anticipated. Ken Shamrock defeats David Arquette with a belly-to-belly suplex. 73. Final match. Bossman, I was the wrong way round, but anyway, Arquette, Candido, C.W. Anderson and Bossman beat down Ken Shamrock. That should say 86. Bagwell defeats Nathan Jones by DQ, 73. Just to give the crowd a breather, eye candy match, Tori Wilson and Stacey Keebs defeat Gail Kim and Rain. Chris Kanyon defeats Conan, but with a quick roll-up pin, 81. Final match, Kanyon offers a handshake, but Conan refuses it and walks off, 88. The Rising, Jerry Lynn, Bryan Danielson, Shane Helms, and Rob Van Dam defeat Bad Influence, AJ Styles, Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, and Samoa Joe. Rob Van Dam pinning Frankie Kazarian after the 5-star frog splash. This got 78. This is just a wrestling match, man. All the feud has just been built up by good wrestlers. They're performing very well for me. And 78 shows. The main event, and it's finally over for Sean O'Haire. His 8-month title reign comes to an end in an exceptional match. Goldberg defeats Nigel McGuinness, Booker T, and Sean O'Haire. Goldberg actually speared and pinned Sean O'Haire to win the World Heavyweight Championship. And I believe this is only his second reign back then. He won it once when he was a rookie, and that's it, 96. And then a 100 celebration. So I'm predicting high for this one. It's got to be in the 90s. There we go, 91. 91, that's good. So Goldberg, give this boy a hug. Got to give Sean O'Haire some praise, because Sean O'Haire's done well for me. Obviously I pushed him for the last 8 months as world champ. His reign has finally come to an end. Let me know if you guys think that's shocking or not, but I felt it was time. Right, final sort of rundown. We finished last out of 2 in the USA. So, as you can see, Singh got a 91. Don't really see any other news. No one's contract's up. No, I just had an incident involving Brian Clark, but it wasn't anything exciting. So no contracts are due. Red's upset because he got jobbed out on the last match there to Damien Sandow. He didn't like losing to an enhancement talent, and that made Sandow into an opener. Sandow's opener has gone up. That's why WCW 81 is my popularity now. So made 2 million profit. So anyway, that is finally it. Thanks for sticking through. There's a lot of custom stuff that time round, so I hope you enjoyed. Again, please, as always, leave me your feedback, what you like, what you don't like. I always listen to the comments that people make, and again, I'll continue this. If you're playing TEW2020, the demo's out now. I will be sticking with this one for a little while. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and please take care.